We open in Lagos Airport. Adesuwa stands frozen at the departure gate, passport open in her trembling hands. The visa sleeve is empty. Around her, travelers rush past, oblivious. She is completely still. The world keeps moving. She cannot. She had worked 3 years for a single piece of paper, every naira, every early morning, every late night. And in one night, it was gone. Aerial view of Benin City at dawn. Rooftops catch the first light. The city is waking. This is the story of Adesuwa, a story of what can be stolen from you and what cannot. A flashback. Young Adesuwa, age 8, sits curled in her mother's lap on a floral sofa. Her mother reads aloud from the Bible, one hand around her daughter, the other tracing the page. Warm afternoon light fills the room. They are laughing at something. It is the safest place in the world. The same girl, same age, now in a dim hospital room. Her mother lies in a bed, thinner now, eyes sunken. Young Adesuwa grips her mother's hand with both of hers. She will not let go. Her mother manages a weak smile. 2 years after the mother's death. A traditional ceremony outside the family compound. The father, older now and softer in the eyes, sits beside a confident, well-dressed woman, the stepmother. Teenage Adesuwa sits at the edge of the crowd in a stiff new dress someone else chose for her. She watches. She does not clap. 2 years later, her father brought home a new wife and a new daughter. Chidinma, who got the bigger room, the new clothes, the school fees paid on time. Adesuwa came last, in everything, from that day forward. 19-year-old Adesuwa is already at Oba Market before the sun rises. She carries bolts of Ankara fabric stacked high, navigating the narrow stalls by lamplight. Other traders call out to her. She nods but keeps moving. There is no time to waste. Evening, a small community learning center, plastic chairs, a chalkboard, a single ceiling fan. Adesuwa sits in the front row among adult learners, her exercise book open, pen moving fast. She is the youngest in the room. The teacher writes ledger columns on the board. Adesuwa copies everything. After class, she closes the notebook and tucks it inside her wrapper before stepping outside. 3 years of bookkeeping courses nobody knew she was taking. She paid with fabric money. She went after market hours. She told no one, not her father, not even Blessing. This was hers alone. Late night. Adesuwa's small bedroom. She sits on the edge of her bed under the bedside lamp, the worn Bible open before her. She pulls a brown envelope from between its pages and counts crumpled, soft naira notes on the bedsheet. She counts twice. She writes a number in the margin of a small ledger. She puts the money back, slides the Bible under the mattress, turns off the light. A rapid montage, the same window, 4 seasons pass outside it. Rain hammers the louvers, harmattan dust coats the sill, then sunshine again. Inside, Adesuwa at the market, Adesuwa at her desk, Adesuwa counting, Adesuwa studying, each shot 2 seconds. She looks older, harder, ready. 3 years, every single day, no holidays, no rest, no one cheering, just Adesuwa and the work. A formal visa application center, rows of plastic chairs, fluorescent hum. Adesuwa sits in the queue with a thick brown folder on her lap, pay slips, bank statements, business registration, recommendation letters. She has prepared everything 3 times over. When her number is called, she walks to the counter and slides the folder forward with steady hands. A DHL envelope appears at the compound gate. Adesuwa takes it with both hands. She reads the header, reads it again. Her knees weaken slightly. She steadies herself on the gatepost. She reads it a 3rd time, then a 4th. Then she allows the tears to come. She does not make a sound. She just stands there in the afternoon light, crying silently into the letter. Adesuwa enters the family parlor, letter in hand. The stepmother is seated on the sofa, phone in hand. Their eyes meet. Adesuwa sits down across the room, not thinking, just happy. distracted by her own joy. She doesn't notice the way the stepmother's eyes drop to the letter. Track. Calculate. Adesuwa's bedroom, late that night. She changes into her nightgown, sits on the edge of the bed. She reads the letter one final time by lamplight. Then she folds it carefully, slides it back into its envelope with the visa documents, and tucks the whole thing under her pillow. She pats it twice. The house is asleep. 2 a.m. A dark corridor lit only by moonlight filtering through the louvers. The stepmother moves without sound in her house clothes, face set like stone. She opens Adesuwa's bedroom door 1 inch at a time, reaches in. Her hand moves under the pillow, finds the envelope, withdraws slowly. The door clicks shut. The corridor is empty again, as if nothing happened. Early dawn light. Adesuwa stirs, stretches, reaches under her pillow instinctively. Her hand finds nothing. She checks again, pressing flat, sweeping the full width. She sits up, checks under the mattress, checks her bag, opens her wardrobe, gets on her knees and checks under the bed. Then she sits back on her heels on the floor, hands in her lap, and stares at the wall. She already knows. Lagos Airport, Chidinma, dressed for travel, designer bag on a trolley, laughs loudly into her phone in the departure hall. The board behind her reads, London Heathrow, departing. She has no idea what was taken to get her there. Adesuwa runs into the parlor, breathless, eyes wild. The stepmother is exactly where she always is, on the sofa, tea in both hands, morning TV on. She looks up at Adesuwa slowly. Her face is the same as always. Adesuwa, voice raised now, points at the stepmother directly. She says she knows. She says she saw her. The stepmother rises slowly from the sofa, smooths her wrapper, and meets her gaze. No raised voice, no denial, no apology. Just 2 words, mouthed slowly, clearly. Prove it. Then she walks to the kitchen to refill her tea. Adesuwa walks to her father's bedroom and knocks. He opens the door in his agbada, reading glasses on his forehead. She tells him everything, voice cracking, hands gesturing. He listens. He looks tired. His eyes drift past her shoulder toward the direction of his wife's voice. He says nothing. He closes the door. Adesuwa sits on the floor of her bedroom, back against the bed, knees to her chest. The empty passport is in her lap. Sunlight moves across the floor in slow strips as time passes. She does not move. She stares at nothing. Outside the window, the neighborhood sounds continue. Children, a generator, music from somewhere. Life, indifferent. Adesuwa opens her wardrobe. She takes only what is hers. Clothes she bought herself, her ledger notebook, her market contacts book. She folds everything deliberately. Then she picks up the Bible from the windowsill. She holds it to her chest with both arms, eyes closed, just for a moment. Then she puts it in the bag last, zips it shut. Morning. Adesuwa walks through the compound toward the gate. She does not rush. She does not look back at the house. The gate opens. She steps through. It swings closed behind her. From an upstairs window, her father watches. He does not call out. He does not come down. The gate is closed. Evening. A modest apartment block somewhere in the city. Adesuwa stands at a painted wooden door and knocks. Blessing opens it. One look at Adesuwa's face and she says nothing. She just opens her arms. Adesuwa walks in. Blessing holds her. No questions. A new city, a smaller stall than before. Adesuwa arranges her fabrics on a basic table with a handwritten price card. She has less stock, a narrower space, an unfamiliar street. But the way she smooths each fabric, aligns each bolt, straightens the price card, that is the same. 6 rapid scenes. Night studying, accounting CAC office, she registered her business. First delivery, first employee, a young woman she trains at the counter. Moving into a proper shop, she paints the signboard herself. Late night at her desk, ledger open, face tired but the numbers are good. She closes the book. A quiet smile. 5 years later, a shop on Reservation Road, her name above the door. This time at golden hour, richer light, a busier city. At the end of it, a signboard catches the light. Adesuwa Fabrics and Company. The inside of Adesuwa Fabrics and Company is warm, organized, beautiful. Ankara and Aso Oke fabrics hang in rows. Staff in matching uniforms move between racks and customers. Adesuwa moves through her own shop, not rushing, just present, occasionally adjusting a display, greeting a customer by name. She built this. The shop door opens. The stepmother and Chidinma walk in together, dressed well, browsing. They are customers. They have no idea whose name is on the sign. The stepmother picks up a fabric bolt and examines it approvingly. Chidinma wanders toward the Aso Oke display. Everything is ordinary. Adesuwa comes from the back office, phone in hand, mid-sentence with a staff member. She looks up. She sees them immediately. Her step falters, just once, barely visible. Then she straightens. Her face arranges itself into something unreadable. She continues walking toward the shop floor. Adesuwa approaches. She greets them the way she greets every customer, warmly, professionally. The stepmother looks up from the fabric, sees her. The fabric falls from her hands. The color drains from her face. This is Adesuwa's shop. This is Adesuwa standing in front of her. Adesuwa does not ask them to leave. She does not raise her voice. She pulls the most beautiful Aso Oke from the shelf herself and lays it before the stepmother. She describes it the way she describes it to every customer, its origin, its quality, what it is worth. The stepmother cannot look her in the eye. Adesuwa looks at her the whole time. After the long silence of recognition, Adesuwa speaks first. She does not acknowledge the history. She does not flinch. She simply greets the stepmother the way she greets every customer, by looking directly at her and smiling. Chidinma is standing at the Aso Oke display pretending to browse, but she is watching Adesuwa. Her expression is complicated. Recognition, discomfort, something close to shame. She picks up a fabric, puts it down, picks up another. She cannot focus. She keeps looking at the sign above the counter with Adesuwa's name on it. The stepmother has recovered enough to speak. She straightens her wrapper, lifts her chin, and asks about a fabric in a measured, composed voice, as if she is simply a customer, as if Adesuwa is simply a shop girl. She is performing. Adesuwa can see every stitch of it. Something in Adesuwa's last sentence lands differently. The stepmother's hand stops on the fabric. She stares down at it. Her jaw tightens. Her eyes begin to fill, not with performance, not with strategy, with actual shame. She blinks, looks away toward the window. Her composure is gone. Adesuwa hears those words. She holds them for a moment, all that they carry, all that they cost the woman who said them. Then she folds the fabric quietly, sets it aside, and looks up with steady eyes. Not cold, not warm, just clear. Chidinma leaves the Aso Oke display and walks slowly toward the counter. She stands beside her mother but does not look at her. She looks at Adesuwa. Her expression is direct and unguarded in a way her mother's never was. She has something to say. Business continues. Adesuwa wraps the fabric in branded tissue paper and a paper bag. She hands it across the counter. Her staff member writes the receipt. The stepmother pays. Everything professional, everything clean. It is the strangest, most ordinary transaction either woman has ever completed.
2 years after the stolen visa, Adesuwa is at her desk in the back office filling out a UK visa application on her laptop. This time she has everything: her own business certificate, 2 years of accounts, a letter of invitation from a textile trade fair in London. She fills in each field without hesitation. The email arrives. Visa approved. She reads it at her desk in the shop. This time she doesn't cry. She just nods once, slowly, like someone receiving news they already knew was coming. Then she forwards it to Blessing and closes the laptop. her bedroom, a better one now, in her own apartment. Adesuwa packs a proper suitcase on a proper bed. She folds business clothes, fabric samples, business cards. She places the Bible in the bag. Then she removes it and sets it on her bedside table instead. The same airport as scene one, but everything is different. Adesuwa walks through departures with her suitcase, passport in hand, open, visa inside, valid, earned. She passes through the gate. She does not freeze. She does not tremble. She walks through like someone who belongs exactly where she's going. A London street, early morning. Adesuwa steps out of a hotel onto a grey, drizzling street. She stops on the pavement, pulls her coat tighter, looks up at the buildings around her. She breathes out, her breath visible in the cold air. She smiles, not because it is beautiful, because she got here herself. A large exhibition hall, international textile and fashion vendors. Adesuwa moves through the space with her fabric samples and business cards, confident and prepared. She stops at a British Nigerian designer's stand. They talk, exchange cards, the beginning of something. Adesuwa is in her hotel room at night, sitting on the bed, phone to her ear. She is telling Blessing about the trade fair, the contacts, the orders. She is talking fast, excited in the way she never lets herself be in the shop. Just here, just with Blessing, she lets it out. Evening, Adesuwa walks alone along the Thames embankment. No phone, no business cards, just walking. She stops at the railing and looks out at the water. She thinks about everything: her mother, the market, the brown envelope, the night the documents were taken, the floor of her bedroom. She stands there for a long time, then she walks on. Murtala Mohammed Airport arrivals. Adesuwa comes through the arrivals door with her suitcase and a carry-on bag clearly heavier than when she left, full of fabric samples, brochures, business agreements. Blessing is there waiting. When she sees her, Blessing simply opens her arms again, same as always. A new, larger shop, twice the floor space, a proper fitting room section, more staff. Adesuwa stands at the entrance on opening day, a ribbon across the door, her staff lined up behind her. She doesn't make a speech. She just cuts the ribbon, opens the door, and steps aside to let the customers in. Blessing calls Adesuwa. She tells her the stepmother sent a message through her, asking Blessing to pass it along because she did not have Adesuwa's number and did not feel she could walk back into the shop. Blessing reads it out. Adesuwa listens to the whole thing on the phone, standing in her back office. The family compound. We see it from the outside, the same gate she walked out of years ago. Adesuwa's car passes it on the road. She's in the passenger seat going somewhere else. She does not turn her head towards it, not out of bitterness. She just has somewhere else to be. Her phone rings. Her father's name appears on the screen. She holds the phone. It rings 4 times. She answers on the fifth. Her voice is calm, not cold, just the voice of someone who has made peace with something and decided what it means. Adesuwa runs a Monday morning staff meeting. 8 employees are around a table. She's going through the week's targets, the new London order, the social media strategy. She is completely in her element. Her staff take notes. Someone asks a question she is not expecting. She thinks, then answers. A letter arrives at the shop, not a DHL envelope this time, but a formal white envelope from a business council. She has been nominated for the Young Entrepreneur of the Year award for her region. Her staff member brings it to her. She reads it, sets it down, picks up her pen and continues writing. A formal hall, table set with white linens. Adesuwa is seated with Blessing and 2 of her staff members. When her name is announced, she walks to the stage. She shakes the presenter's hand, holds the award, looks out at the room, and for just 1 second, she looks for her mother's face. Then she smiles, steps to the microphone.
Backstage after the ceremony, Blessing finds Adesuwa and simply cries. Not sad tears, the kind that come when you have watched someone you love survive everything and come out the other side. Adesuwa holds her and laughs softly and tells her to stop. A journalist sits across from Adesuwa in her shop, notepad open. She is asking about the business, its origins, its growth. Adesuwa answers everything honestly. When the journalist asks, "Was there ever a moment you wanted to give up?" Adesuwa is quiet for just a beat. Then she answers, "No. There were moments I sat on the floor, but sitting on the floor is not giving up. It's just resting before you stand." The newspaper feature is out. One of her staff members holds it up in the shop. There is a photo of Adesuwa, her name, her story. The staff gather around it. One of the younger staff members, a girl barely 20, reads it with wide eyes. She looks up at Adesuwa. "Ma, it says here you started with nothing." Adesuwa: "Not nothing. I started with 3 years of work and a very good friend." The stepmother is at home. A neighbor or relative has left a copy of the paper on the parlor table. She picks it up, flips to the business section, and freezes. She reads the whole article, every word. When she finishes, she folds it carefully and sits back. The tea beside her has gone cold again. A young woman, about 19, comes to the shop asking not to buy, but to learn. She heard about Adesuwa and wants to know how she started. Adesuwa takes 10 minutes between customers, sits with her, and tells her 3 things. Straightforward, practical, true. Young woman: "How did you know you wouldn't fail?" Adesuwa: "I didn't. I just knew failing once doesn't mean failing forever. There's a difference." Adesuwa's apartment, late at night. She is at her writing desk with a notepad and pen. She writes, crosses out, writes again. The notepad fills up. She is not writing a speech. She is writing the truth and finding the shape of it. The Bible is on the corner of the desk. She glances at it once and keeps writing. The evening before the forum, Adesuwa is in bed, not asleep. The city hums outside. She stares at the ceiling. Not from fear, from readiness. This is a different kind of still. Not the floor of the bedroom still, the before something begins still. She turns out the light. Adesuwa gets up before sunrise. She makes tea. She picks up the Bible from the bedside table, holds it once, sets it down, gets dressed in her deep green Ankara power blazer, stands in front of the mirror. She looks at herself for a long moment, nods, picks up her keys, walks out. Adesuwa arrives at the forum venue, a large community hall dressed for a serious event. Banners outside. Women arriving in 2s and 3s. She steps out of her car, adjusts her blazer, and walks toward the entrance. A volunteer at the door recognizes her name on the registration list and lights up. Adesuwa smiles warmly and walks in. A small backstage room, a chair, a mirror, a water bottle. Adesuwa sits alone. She does not rehearse. She does not look in the mirror. She holds her notepad in her lap, open to the page she wrote at her desk. She reads it once, folds it, puts it in her pocket. She will not read from it today. She closes her eyes, breathes, opens them, stands up. The MC, a confident woman in her 40s, stands at the podium and introduces Adesuwa. She reads from the bio, the business, the award, the London trade connections. She does not know the full story. The audience applauds. The MC gestures toward the wings. Adesuwa walks on. Adesuwa walks to the podium. She looks out at the room. Rows of women, all ages, all looking back at her. She adjusts the microphone. She does not open her notepad. She looks at the audience for a full 5 seconds in silence. Then she begins, not with the business, with her mother. Women of different ages and expressions. A young girl of about 17 beside her mother. A market trader in her work clothes. A woman in a corporate suit. An elderly woman with her hands folded. All of them completely still. Some are already emotional, and she is only at the beginning. Adesuwa's voice, continuing. She died when I was 12, and the year she died, I stopped knowing where safe was. Adesuwa reaches the part of the story the audience does not know. The 3 years of work, the visa, the night it was taken. She does not perform it. She does not dramatize it. She tells it plainly. The way you tell something true. And the plain telling is more powerful than any drama would have been. In the front row sits a girl of about 17, with her mother. As Adesuwa describes the moment she sat on the bedroom floor with nothing, this girl's face changes. Something in it shifts. She recognizes something. She reaches quietly for her mother's hand without looking at her. Her mother holds it without looking at her either. They both watch Adesuwa. Adesuwa reaches the pivot of the speech, the moment where the story turns from what was done to her toward what she did next. Her voice shifts, not louder, more certain. She leans forward slightly on the podium. What she says next, she has never said out loud to anyone before. When she finishes that sentence, a sound moves through the hall. Not applause yet, something deeper, a collective exhale. Then a woman in the middle of the room starts clapping slowly. Then another. Then the whole hall. Adesuwa holds the podium and lets it wash over her. She does not look triumphant. She looks relieved. After the speech, a line forms. Women waiting to speak to Adesuwa. Some want business advice, but most want to tell her something, their own version of the story she just told. Adesuwa listens to every single one. She does not check her phone. She does not look past them. Near the end of the line, the teenage girl from the front row. Her mother is beside her, but the girl steps forward alone. She has a piece of paper in her hand, a receipt, the only paper she had. She had written something on the back of it during the speech. She holds it out to Adesuwa. Evening. Adesuwa in the back of a car. City moving past the window. She is quiet. Not empty. Full. She looks at the city without urgency. Her phone has notifications. She sets it face down on the seat. Looks back at the city. She is at peace. A brief return to the speech. The final lines she delivered before the standing ovation. This scene is a callback insert, playing the words over a slow montage of everything we have seen. The market, the bedroom floor, the Bible, the shop, the airport, London, the podium. The Bible still sits on her desk. Same one, same envelope. The money inside is symbolic now. She has long replaced what was in it. But she keeps it, because it is not about the money. It never was. Adesuwa stands at the floor-to-ceiling window of her office. The Benin city skyline stretches out behind her. Golden hour. She is in her work clothes. No performance, no audience. Just her and the city that watched everything happen. She is still. The slight smile comes not from triumph but from something quieter. From knowing she is exactly where she built herself to be.
Before you go, I want to ask you something. What did you learn from my story? I want to know. Go to the comments row to scrolling that belongs to your own life. Thank you again for being here and for truly listening. Your presence and your openness mean everything. Until we meet again in the next chapter of this journey.